What is the difference between coaching, mentoring, and counseling or therapy? That is what I'm going to talk about in this week's video. This is a question I often get asked by new coaches, wondering, how do I know where I fall in this category? How do I make sure that as a coach, I'm not overstepping into therapy or counseling? What is the difference between coaching and mentoring? Also wondering, what do I call myself? Do I call myself a coach? Maybe I don't really resonate with calling myself a coach. So I want to talk about, from my understanding, what the difference is between these things and where you may fall in these categories, as far as figuring out how you want to be working with your clients, how you want to show up, and what that is going to look like for you. Okay. So both coaching and mentoring are future based, where you're looking at creating something that someone wants in their life. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a feeling a certain way as far as your health or getting rid of symptoms. Maybe it is creating a business or finding a career that someone wants. Like, these are usually the three main areas that someone is working on. There may be other areas than this, but those are usually like the biggest motivating areas. So a lot of times we are helping someone create, when we're coaching and mentoring, something that they want in their life. So the other thing about coaching and mentoring is usually we're taking someone who is a fully functioning person in their life, and they're wanting to go from, okay, my life is fine, it's okay, but they want to go take things to the next level. They want to go to thriving, right? They want to go to creating that next thing or making their life better. And this, with health coaching, sometimes this isn't necessarily the case. Someone may not be necessarily thriving in their life and they're looking for help. But if it comes to like mental health things, we want to make sure someone is at a place of being okay in their life and wanting to go to, kind of like that next level. So the difference between then like counseling or therapy is a lot of times this is past based, where we may be looking at past trauma or things that have happened in someone's life, or things like, like addiction and things that are a little bit more like past based, that someone would have a specific diagnosis for, are like chronic depression, chronic anxiety, things like this that fall more into, like a specific diagnosis. And that's more where counseling and therapy come in, is helping someone with a specific diagnosis. A lot of times people may not be fully functioning in their life, and they're really looking for support around that. That's where counseling and therapy would be more appropriate. You're looking more at like what went wrong and how do I fix this, as opposed to creating something new in your life. Okay. So the difference between coaching and mentoring and counseling or therapy. So a lot of times I tell my clients, like, if you don't feel comfortable helping someone with something, then don't say yes to that. Okay. Don't take on something that feels like it's out of your scope of what you could help someone with. Right. And that is really important. I think the other thing to keep in mind is that when you are looking at who you can work with, you can play the role of a coach or a mentor, to help someone, but they also may be needing to work with someone else, or maybe multiple other people who are taking other roles in helping them create some sort of result that they're looking, right? Like if we look at health coaching specifically, if I'm working with someone as a coach, a health coach, but someone has a pretty complicated health issue going on, I may also recommend that they're working with a doctor, and maybe even like a functional medicine practitioner or a naturopath. Maybe they need to be working with like a chiropractor because they're having, back issues. And that can be part of my role, is like helping them figure out like, how do we create this team that would really be supporting you fully, to get to where you want to go, right? So we don't need to be taking on all the roles, and it's really important that you understand what your role is and what you feel comfortable and confident that you can help someone with, and not overstepping those boundaries. So that piece is really important. I want to talk a little bit about the difference specifically between the counseling, coaching, and mentoring, like on a little bit of a more, or really counseling I really talked about, like that's resolving trauma from the past, psychological diagnosis. So as coaches and mentors, like we just don't touch those things. Like we're not, that's not our area of expertise. We're not qualified for that. And you want to make sure that people are getting the right support. Like I said, if someone is working with a therapist and they also want to work with you, and you have a certain role to play in that, like that's perfectly fine. But you want to make sure that you're not working with someone who also needs more additional support. Okay. So difference between coaching and mentoring. So when you're coaching, the official definition, as I have seen when I was looking this up, because I wanted to explain it to you guys, is you believe that the client already has all the knowledge and the resources within themselves. And so you're asking them questions to help them find the answers that they have within themselves. Okay. And there's a lot of coaching programs that obviously are teaching coaching, but I find that there's a huge place for mentoring that can be very, very helpful to your clients. And so for me, I have always been, let's say, a coach or a mentor. A lot of times I call myself a mentor now. Like I think they're somewhat interchangeable. But as a mentor, a lot of times we are bringing in our own expertise and our experience to share with our clients to help guide them as well, as opposed to just being like assuming that they have all the knowledge within themselves. Because a lot of times when people are coming to us, they're wanting our knowledge, right? They're wanting us to share our expertise and our wisdom with them. Because if they had all the answers within them already, they would already know what to do. There is definitely a piece to coaching where we can bring out the answers and help them work through things that will, like those answers may be hidden under certain beliefs or under, self-sabotaging behaviors or whatever it is that with coaching, like we can help people, I would say like unveil those answers within themselves. But a lot of times also they are missing some knowledge and wisdom that they're looking to someone else to have. So like, especially if you're thinking about like health things, right? Like there's a lot as health coaches, we know and we have knowledge and wisdom about that our clients do not, that we can share with them that will really help them as far as understanding what actions they may need to be taking, or changes that they need to be making in habits that will allow them to get the results that they're wanting to get, right? So they're coming to us like as the expert to help them with something. And so for me, I have always combined coaching and mentoring together. So I know that my clients are coming to me because I have knowledge and experience that they do not have. But I am also not going to pretend that I know what is best for my clients, because I really see the work that we do together as a partnership where I can provide guidance and education and wisdom based on my personal experience and my experience working with hundreds of clients. But also, I know each of my clients has their own unique path based on their past experience, based on their knowledge, their skills, what they're good at, what they enjoy doing. And so I always see it as a partnership of me giving them the knowledge and the education that they need, while also working as a team to help them decide what actions to take to help them create what they want. Because for each of my clients, it is very individual. I believe this when it comes to building a business. This is also, I really think, what is true when it comes to our health. Really, it is very individual. What works best for one person may not be exactly what works best for someone else. There is a lot of things that universally work for people, right? Like a big one is don't eat processed food. Like don't eat a lot of overly processed food. Eat real food, preferably organic, grass-fed, all those things, right? Like this is kind of like a universal principle that will apply to everyone. But when it comes to getting into like the nitty-gritty and the nuance of things, like maybe someone does better with more of a vegan diet, where someone else does better with eating more meat, or whatever it is. Certain vegetables may work for certain people. Certain people may do better on like a higher carb diet versus a lower carb diet. Like this is all very individual, and those things may actually change for someone in different parts of their life as well, right? Based on what's going on for them in their body at that time. So this is where really I think the coaching and the mentoring can combine together to create a really nice way to work with your clients. And for me, that is what I have found works best. If I'm not giving any guidance to my clients and I'm just saying, having them like find all the answers with themselves, like I just know that's not what people are coming to me for. They want some guidance. And so I give that. And that's a mix of the coaching and the mentoring. And as far as like the therapy and the counseling piece, do I use some techniques or that maybe therapists use as well? Like sometimes, sure, of course. Like there's a lot of like coaching where we're uncovering things that may be keeping people stuck, but I'm not helping people with things or conditions that I don't feel qualified for, that I feel like should be addressed with a therapist or a counselor. So I hope that it explains things a little bit and kind of the difference between these three different areas. If you have any additional questions about this, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to offer whatever I can from my own experience as far as, the difference between these and where we fall as coaches or mentors, whatever you want to call yourself. So let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone else you think would find it helpful. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this. If you want to dive a bit deeper into the steps to building a successful coaching business, I will link a training below this video. You can click on that link, check that out. And I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.